Hello, everyone, and welcome to the second episode of 5 Minutes with MentalUP, where we discuss the future of education. Today, our guest is Chris Aviles, A.K.A. the Tech Top teacher. He's one of the cool teachers we used to like at school. Thank you for being with us today.
Thank you for having me. I'm excited to be here.
Chris, you're a teacher and the COO of Heavens Innovates.
Mhm.
Can you tell us a bit about what Fairhaven does?
Sure. So I am a teacher in the United States, New Jersey, and here I work with middle school age students to teach them how to be innovative entrepreneurs. And so Fairhaven Innovates is the program I created where students design products that solve problems, and together we build them out and we market and sell them. And so my students don't just get to play pretend when it comes to being an entrepreneur. My students actually run real businesses that solve real problems and turn a real profit.
That's perfect. Would you like to give us an example of what you've
Sure.
been doing lately?
Yeah, so some of the great things that my students have invented, we have volleyball here and in our school is really popular, but a lot of our nets are constantly breaking. So I had students invent a way to keep volleyball nets from sagging. I had students invent just different type of more normal businesses, so dog walking, lawn care businesses. I've had students create board games, video games. I have students that are working right now. I have a student who's working on his own pasta business. I have students that are growing different plants and selling them, so different herbs and spices. So really it comes down to whatever a student is passionate about, right? We try to find some problems in their area of interest to solve, and then I help them create a product that they can then turn around and sell.
Chris, you're an expert on gamification, right? Game-based learning.
Yeah, so I've been using gamification and game-based learning for about 7 or 8 years.
What do you think is a good gamification strategy in education? And what is a good way to measure the success?
One of my favorite things to do is work in what I call achievements into my classroom. And so we know when students go home and they play video games, often as they're playing the game, they may unlock an achievement by doing something awesome, right? I like to do the same thing in my classroom. My students can unlock achievements by doing awesome things or being awesome people. So for example, one of my favorite achievements is I call it outside the slide. And what that is it's an achievement that students can unlock when they do a presentation that is something other than a PowerPoint or a slideshow. Because I don't know about you, but for me as a teacher, I get really bored always looking at PowerPoints and slideshow presentations. And the reason that I did this and the reason why achievements are useful when it comes to gamification, and the same reason, video games use achievements, is they want to encourage players, kids, students to try new things. And so by adding an achievement, right, the way that I measure the success of that achievement is number one, it's optional. Kids, if they feel comfortable doing a slideshow, they can do it, right? So gamification shouldn't be punitive, right? It should be, only focusing on the positive. But
Right.
then number two is the fact that students now have a reason to try something different. And so I have kids who make videos now, commercials, podcasts. I had a kid do a puppet show. I had a kid make something in Minecraft, all because they want to show what they learned in a way that is different than just a regular old slideshow.
And how do you think gamification and game-based learning will evolve? How do you think it will change the future of education?
One thing I always want to make clear is how are we defining gamification and game-based learning, right? Gamification is taking the game mechanics that video games use, or even board games, right? Card games, the game mechanics that they use to engage the player and putting them in the classroom. So what I love about gamification is that it does not need to use any technology, right? You are just using the same basic psychology that video games use to make people want to keep playing. And so I think as people realize that gamification itself doesn't come with any strings attached to having to be techie or having to be a gamer, I think you're going to see more people try it. On the other side of that, game-based learning is when we teach and assess with video games. I'm seeing that get more and more popular with different games, classroom-made games like Kahoot and stuff like that. Or on the other side, a lot of teachers are starting to use Minecraft as a teaching tool. A lot of
Wow, that's
yeah,
really cool and
it,
smart.
yeah, a lot of teachers. I know when I was teaching high school English, I used a video game called Gone Home to teach narrative storytelling, to teach transmedia storytelling. And really, I think that we can appreciate a video game story, right, just like we would a story in a book or a movie. So I think you're going to see as the requirements to use video games in the classroom, like Minecraft is now available on Chromebooks, right? I think you're going to see more and more teachers trying out video games in the classroom. And I think as more educators are exposed to gamification and realize because it's just taking game mechanics, it's taking the ideas and the principles of a game, it can work in any grade, any subject, any level of learner. You don't have to be a gamer and you don't have to know technology to be able to use gamification. I think what you're going to see is a lot of creative teachers who are looking to better engage and motivate students, in this very distracting world, start to bring in what kids love and teaching them what we need to know right through the stuff that they care about. I'm happy to connect with any educators out there if you want to check out my blog at techedupteacher.com. Otherwise, if I can help anybody on those topics, I'm always happy to connect and help other educators.
Chris, can you be any more cooler?
I try my best.
Thank you, Chris, for being with us today. And thank you, everyone who watched us. Wait for our next episode. And in the meantime, don't forget to follow our social media accounts. Bye.